Down to the fourth point. This is the later stage I'm talking about, when you have moved on, when you have done all the healing work, you've forgiven them, you have genuinely no anger left for them, you know have done a lot of healing work, you've understood their point of views also. I will talk about how we do all these things, but basically I'm coming to that point when you've done all of this work and you've moved on. Okay, you've moved on to the next stage where you're doing your actual work, other things that you're meant to do after going through the trauma and forgiving and everything. When you reach this point, you actually heal your bloodline and show your bloodline members, your family members, even the young members, about who you actually are. You finally let your family see why you were being this way all this life, why you were doing the things that you were doing, why were you thinking the things that you were thinking, why were you so different. Because finally they see the final product, the product which is still evolving, which has not maybe reached its fullest version, its final form. It's still in the making, but it has still gone to the next levels. It has gone to a better place. It is not with them anymore. It is not under trauma, at least. They are seeing a different version of you, a healed version, a much more successful version. They are seeing you excelling at your work. They are seeing you excelling at your emotional health, your mental health. Everything is in abundance in your life now. You are doing well in every aspect of your life, financially and here and there, everywhere. And they finally get to see that version of you. Why? Because you did this work. If you hadn't done this, then they would still keep seeing that miserable version of you, which they kept hurting, which they kept doing because you allowed it, because you were you're not sure of yourself. But because you came out of it and you showed them the star that you are, finally they get a chance to see how they were wrong, how they had misjudged you, that all your weaknesses were not actually weaknesses, they were gifts, they were miraculous things which were just not bloomed then, not bloomed yet. Finally they come to see how divine you are, how God sent you are, how strong you are, how powerful you are, and what you are actually meant to be. They finally get to see all of that just because you did all this work. Otherwise they would never be aware of it. They would never get a chance to know that something like that was actually there in their bloodline. Something needed to be changed. Something was there in their life that had to be changed, and you are the person who was doing all of this, right? You are the person who was working so hard to break